So if you're watching this video right now, I hope you are either one of two people. Number one, you are a salesperson and you're asking yourself, how the heck did I get in this mess in sales? I got thrown in, given some product knowledge, and then told to sell, and I don't know what I'm doing. Or number two, you are a business owner and your sales force is not getting up to speed, and you're asking yourself, do I really need to train my salespeople on being a salesperson? My name is Kevin Weir. I am your action coach helping you achieve your business dreams. And I want to talk about today is why your salespeople need to be trained on sales. Here's what I see a lot of the times. A lot of people get hired into sales. Sometimes they're experienced, sometimes they're not. And then they get trained on product knowledge. They get deep dived into all elements of the product or of the service. And so they go out there and they know huge amounts of how our product or service works, all the details, how to answer all questions on the product itself, but they've never been taught on how to actually sell the product or service. And I want to address why it's so important that you need to learn to be a salesperson. The first reason that you need to learn to be a salesperson is sales does not come natural for many people. If you are a business owner, you may be a really great salesperson by nature. It just comes natural to you. And so you'll hire salespeople to do what you're really good at. And then you get frustrated because they don't do the things the way you would do in sales or how comfortable they are in sales. And then you fire them or you demote them back into production or something of that nature. You have to realize is that only about 20 to 25% of the population is natural at sales. It comes easy to them. I know for me, it didn't come easy to me for many years. I actually avoided sales because I hated rejection with a fanatic passion. And I actually needed to be trained on how to overcome those things. Even though right now I'm really confident in sales, but I had to learn. So you can't just assume that people are going to walk into a sales position and just naturally do well because they've got such a magnetic personality. So now, number two reason why you need to train your salespeople on being salespeople is that sales is a confidence game. And if they aren't confident, they lose. And this is very true in sales, is that you might have a huge amount of product knowledge. But if you don't exude personal self-confidence in being a salesperson, it doesn't matter how much product knowledge that you have, you're going to feel uncomfortable. You're going to feel out of sorts. And guess what? The customer is going to notice. No matter how much product knowledge you have, if you don't have personal self-confidence in a sales process, you're going to lose every single time, because what will happen is it'll come down to you want to sell the product, the customer doesn't want it or doesn't think they want it, and it becomes a battle. And what happens is then you will lose most of the time because the customer sees that you're not confident, and that confidence is translated into a lack of confidence in your product or service. So you lose every single time. So you've got to basically, sales training gives you confidence in being that salesperson who then also has the product knowledge. So make sure we got those two, one doesn't come before the other. Now, number three thing why sales training is so important is that sales is a team game. You need to know your position. Let me give you this illustration. Imagine that you are on a football team and you are an offensive guard, and you basically have a lot of natural talent, but nobody's told you how to do the blocking or how to work with other team members. You create chaos for the entire team. Doesn't matter how massive you are as a human being. If you don't know exactly how to do something, you basically bring the team down. You have to understand that when you train a salesperson, they become a much stronger resource for the entire team. Because at the end of the day, if somebody doesn't sell, the rest of the team doesn't have revenue to do the job that you want them to do. So you've got to understand that since the salesperson is a key person in the team, they've got to be trained on how to be that best salesperson to drive revenue. Number four, we need a reason why sales training is so important is just because you train on product knowledge does not make you a salesperson. I can't emphasize this enough. You still need to obviously train on product knowledge. But if all you do is train on product knowledge, give them a few interesting hints and throw them out there, they're going to be uncomfortable with dealing with objections. They're going to feel uncomfortable about closing and how to close a sale or open the relationship up. They're going to be uncomfortable with dealing with the minutia of dealing with human beings. I've seen this before. You've got the smartest person in the room who we put into sales and they can't sell even though they know the product inside and out because they've never been trained on sales. So number 5, reason why sales training is so important is you have to learn to adapt to different people. That takes training. When a salesperson is talking with somebody, they've got to assess, who is this person in front of me? Are they a decisive, I need to make a decision now? Are they a real people person? Are they kind of scared and nervous about taking a risk? Are they detail-oriented and need to know details? You have to be, or a combination of one or two. You have to learn how to read those people so that when you know what those people want, that you can deliver that message to them in the way that their style wants best. If you're looking with that go-getter who just says, I need that, then you go straight and not waste their time. But you also have to understand on the polar opposite, if they're nervous and they're indecisive, you have to switch gears and you have to help them overcome that insecurity that they may have to take a big risk. Your job is to then help them. And the way you treat that person versus the go-getter who wants to make a decision are two totally different ways. But if you can't read that and don't have strategies for both, then you're going to do a one-step formula for all people and you're losing a huge amount of your audience. So you have to learn in training how to identify and adapt your sales message to different types of people. That takes training. And finally, number 6 is that your salespeople need a systems approach to sales, not just a random process. Sales is many times a very defined process. It might have 7 steps, 9 steps, 11 steps in your particular sales process. But if they're not documented down, then your salespeople are just winging it and hope for the best. Great sales training helps salespeople define what their process should look like, helps them document it, and helps them put themselves onto a direction where they can get great sales from doing a process. So let's talk a little bit about, should you be doing your own sales training in-house? If you have the resources, great, but most businesses don't have the resource. One of the things I offer is a 12-week sales training course that will take your salespeople through a 12-week process to help you get the best results from your salespeople. I'm going to be starting that here in a couple of weeks. If you're interested, I want you to click below and give us some information. We'll talk with you and see if this is the right fit for you. I desperately want your salespeople to be successful at sales. Let's go ahead, let's talk, let's see if sales training is right for you and your sales team. Thanks, look forward to seeing you.